Hey folks, Cool18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play the Kerbal Space Program. Last episode, we successfully got a satellite in orbit, which is awesome, and we're going to try a little bit more of that. We've got a quest to do a satellite in polar orbit of Moon, which I would very much like. We also got a quest here to transmit science from space around Kerbin. Now, in theory, what that means is... And yeah, this is a crash landing little test ship there. This means I can take Sat Launcher 1. Can I rename these? At this point, it would be really nice if we could name them based on their correct mission. But we can switch to this thing. It is in orbit around Kerbal. Or around Kerbin, I should say. So we should be able to do, even if it's a zero science value, we can transmit 0 points worth of science. This isn't worth any science points in and of itself, but it still satisfies. You know, it's still science. Look at that. Boom. Easy money. But seriously, is there no way to rename a ship? There probably is somewhere, and I just don't know it. Alright, and we can just hop back to the Space Center. Boom. So, we're going to do another one of those. We're going to send it to the Moon. The Moon mission is interesting. It doesn't actually require that we have any particular parts. It does require a polar orbit. And it actually, oops, where is it? So you can see me like playing around with all kinds of different ideas. What are we looking at? Oh, this one here. Oh, B, hold on. This is the one that we used last time, except I was going to shrink the fuel tank, which I think is going to be fine for, because we had way too much delta V left. I think that's going to be fine for anything that we send in Kerbin orbit, but if we're going to the Moon, I don't think I'm going to need the 400. I used the 400 fuel tank last time. We'll just use the 200, which will be okay. And as long as we don't goof up getting into orbit, as long as we do that relatively efficiently, we'll be okay. I'll bring the thermometer anyway, because it'll allow us to have something in lunar orbit, or Mooner orbit, I should say, that can transmit science back home. And that'll be pretty nice. Okay, we've got all our stats. We'll go and put on the SAS. We'll go to full throttle. We'll go for burn. This build is still uneven for whatever reason. Although luckily it starts off leaning towards the east, which is entirely okay. A little bit of that right from the start isn't the end of the world. Mostly, especially with this design, which is not terribly steerable. It can find itself falling into a loop pretty easily because it doesn't actually have a lot of steering power. I'm definitely going to wait until my classic 15,000 meters here to start the full turn. But other than that, we're okay. So a bit of air resistance showing up, but not much. We can actually start throttling up again. You know, just a hint of it is fine. We don't want too many aerodynamic effects, but overall, we're okay. Speed is very good and increasing quite well. And basically, as soon as we dump off these guys, we're going to go to, actually go to full burn now, and we'll make our turn. So we'll do that. I'll actually put on caps lock here for some precision. There we go. And actually go, whoa. It rolled over. Yeah, there's some uneven weight in this thing. It's interesting that it would roll over. It's being very hard for me to get my 90 degrees here. So the fact that we have to get into polar orbit around Moon, yeah, where our Apo is getting quite big, but still, this is fine. The fact that we have to get into polar orbit around Moon does imply that we could go into a polar orbit around Earthfall. Like, we could have launched going north or south, and then gone to Moon from there, and then we'd be hitting Moon from the right angle. But I think it would be very difficult to actually get into that initial orbit with Moon. So instead, I'm just going to do the standard sort of equatorial kind of route, because it's the easiest way to hit the Moon. And yeah, this is not being terribly efficient here. I definitely will wait until Apo. Let me go ahead and kill the throttle. Do that. Oh, kill the throttle. Oh, wrong button. There we go. And we'll do that. I guess I should have waited. I don't know. We're fine. As long as we don't hit this extra little piece of debris that's still very, very slowly collapsing to the Earth. I should have, from the ground station, I should have advanced a couple of days just to let that test go. That's the thing where we had the... oh, what's it called? The Sputnik-y thing. I can't remember the name of it. With the solid rocket booster that we spent too much money on. Yeah, that was it. Now, I wonder... See, this is why you go into the low orbit. This is another quest here. You go into low orbit because you can get your moonshot set up pretty quickly. Yeah, we have to be on the other side over here to actually get the moonshot going. If we'd launched at a different time, it might have been possible to go direct. But no, this is fine. So let's go and let me know when I'm at apoapsis. Please and thank you. These shortcuts are nice. I don't like the ones on the map. I mean, they're nice when you want to use it, just like this. How come you didn't get a 3-minute warning? This is relatively short notice to apoapsis here. Maybe we didn't have 3 minutes. Oh, that's possible. All right, we are lined up. Prograde. Let's go. Bring our periapsis up. We don't need a circular orbit. We just need an orbit that is not going to crash us into the ground. We are burning a lot more of our delta V here than I'd wanted. Okay, we still have 2200. That is good. That'll be more than enough to escape Kerbal. The thing is, we're going to need a fair amount of maneuver fuel to change from our... Where's the moon? Over here. To change from our equatorial orbit, which is where we're going to come in kind of around here, to flipping around to do this polar thing. So we'll see how it goes. Apparently I can hit backspace and get back to my ship. That is awesome! Really, really, really handy. So we are going to take off for the moon right around here. What I'm going to do is... Oh, we can just warp to the spot. Cool, let's do that. Warp to that spot. And we'll do the thing where you actually, like, visually decide when it's time to fire off. Which is, interestingly enough, going to be easier than trying to find the right place to put down the maneuver node. So apparently the rule of thumb is... Wait until you see the moon rise on the horizon. There we go, prograde. And then fire. And that'll be when to do it. And then we can switch back to the map and we'll know when to cut out. Actually, we can already see the moon. Okay, well, I guess we'll do that then. So it's going to be slightly unoptimal because I put that warp node a little too far. At this point, our goal is to get our apoapsis to basically be in line with the moon orbit. Trying to throttle up a bit. Oh, I can't do that without that open? Okay. There it is. Okay. Now, this might not be the most effective way to come in here. Where are we going to come in? We're going to escape there. We're going to come in there. I would very much like to approach from the other side, which I believe... As a little sampler, let's add a maneuver here for plotting. If I accelerate, I will approach the moon from the other side. There we go. So that's what I want, because this will naturally break us a lot better. So I guess I'll use the maneuver node for this. Node in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Let us go and steer ourselves to point at the maneuver node. Like that. I'll speed up just a scooch. It's going to be a pretty short burn. I'm pretty confident about that. Oh, 10 meters, 10.7 meters per second. That's why estimated burn is literally blank. Wow. So there. That was too long. I didn't use the shift key to just give us a little bit of juice. I actually hit ZX, which caused me to go a little further than I wanted. But still, we still have 1.5 K meters per second left in the fuel tanks. Hopefully that will be enough. What I'm going to do over here. How high is our periapsis? That is pretty low, actually. Not technically enough to smack into the surface of the moon, although the moon is apparently pretty mountainous, so you got to be a little bit careful about that. Add a maneuver here to retro. And bring this just inside, because other maneuvers are going to add a bit more juice. We have to make sure we don't retro too soon, or we might actually slow down and smack into the moon. But that is going to be fine. Okay. Let's pop out of the map over here. Let's go ahead and warp to the next maneuver. Plenty of sunshine. Oh, slight eclipse. Nope. Oh, look at that. That's cool. That is cool. Yeah, warp to the next maneuver, then we'll move. It'll basically be retrograde, but we've got our maneuver thing. We've got half our fuel left. It'll be really interesting to see, and I'm not sure if we can do it, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Unfortunately, we're a little bit unoptimal, maybe leaving Kerbal there and getting into orbit initially. This is fast so we can loop. What can we do? Temperature scan. Yeah, but we'd have to broadcast it, and that won't give us maximum amount, right? No, I will have to, when we come back to land on the moon, we'll have to do that properly. So, there we go. I don't know why it dropped down so low. Okay. Let us de-warp a little bit more. More temperature scan. Oh, because we're in low orbit now. God, we'd get a lot of money from this. Or a lot of science, I should say. So yes, this will be a retro one. I definitely want to make sure not to fire off early, or we might lose a little bit too much height. We are going to be cutting it a little bit close to the surface as is. If there were any real mountains on the moon here, woo! I think if we had a pilot here, would we get more experience? No, we've already got some from orbiting around the moon. Landing on it would give us more XP. And go. And stubborn. There we go. Close enough. Alright. Apoapsis, periapsis. We check here. My apo. Actually, we went a little bit too much, but that's alright-ish, maybe. Yeah, it's fine. What we're going to do, these warp buttons are, again, kind of handy, but also really scary. What we're going to do is we're going to go to our apo. And we're just going to, and again here, see, I could very easily accidentally click on that. Well, I guess I can just wheel up. That'll prevent some problems. Okay. And what I want to do is get it so that we're crossing. You know what? We're not going to increase the periapsis all the way because it's not quite the right direction. But by burning there, we'll get closer. What's our actual goal for these numbers? You know what? We can close the science window. Moon. Right, it's 178, 178 basically. So, okay. No, I guess this will be fine. If I click on this and increase that, that'll be pretty close. Close to circularizing. I don't know what the right word for that is. Making our orbit circular, which this one really is, and then we're going to go and look at tilting it 90 degrees. By basically grabbing one of these points here where they're on the same axis and doing some burns there. Okay, estimated burn 1 second. Really? Wow. Okay. So let's go ahead and I should just set, there must be a way to set a hotkey to just skip to the next maneuver node. Just avoid a couple extra mouse clicks. Yeah, the science pop-ups, but not really. So we're not warping quite as fast as we could because we're very low, so it limited the warp speed. We could probably go up higher now, but that's okay. Almost there. So we'll try to round off our orbit and basically bring both points to the right distance from the surface of the moon and then start tilting. What we saw last time is the sort of further away we are from the body, the less delta V it really takes to radically rotate your orbit. So let's go ahead and bring it as close as possible to the point. Although my apo is a little low too, so it's not the end of the world if I'm not right on the ball. And I will be gentle. I'm just going to hit the Shift X, sort of like that. A little bit of warp. Okay. I may go and start a little bit of it right now. Not exactly on the maneuver mark, but pretty close. Okay, there we go. You know what? That makes it nice and gentle. And pretty good. We do need more periapsis. We need both. We're still locked on the prograde. Yep. All right. They're very, very, very close right now. Good. Call that maneuver close enough. Any chance... Oh, we are basically going to cross here. Basically going to cross on both sides. So, right where they meet, that's going to be our axis. We're going to start giving a little twist that way. But, as you can see, it also gives us more boost to our orbit. So, sort of do one of those. I'm going to do it in 2 discrete burns. One on this side and one on the other. There you go. We're going to get most of the way there. So we need 478 delta V, which is about a third of what's remaining in our tank. That's perfectly fine. Maneuver. Okay, and we are almost out of time warp. It looks like an atom now. It's kind of cool. So, let's turn to, where is it? Come on, I'm having a hard time. There we go. All right, just had to remember the buttons. Get to the maneuver point. I was also getting distracted by the fact there was some twitchiness going on over here. I'm like, what am I changing? Okay, it's going to be a 26-second burn, so we're going to wait until we've got about 13 seconds left before the node, and then let her rip. And we don't want to overshoot it because we don't want to waste burn. Undershooting it is fine because we're planning to do another burn afterwards anyway. And it's just going to get easier and easier to get the job done. Wait, hold on. Are we going to be going correct? Yes, we are tilting upwards, and that is right. We should be going up from this point. Whew, that was close. We could have very easily found ourselves going in exactly the opposite direction that we wanted to go in. You got to pay attention to these little dots. We've got, again, we're waiting till T minus 13 seconds to the node. And initiate burn now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's pretty good. Clear that out. We're still crossing out over here, so we can do basically the exact same maneuver. So we're going to try to get the full 90 degrees there. And then we do have to add a retro component, basically. And then scooch more of that. No. Scooch more of that. I mean, this is all just adding together a series of vectors to, there we go, to result in one final direction. It's not, hang on, I bet you we could do this better. Add maneuver. We could just focus purely on getting the direction right and then adjust our orbital size, which probably makes the most sense. Pretty sure we could figure out a way to do both at the same time, but it just gets kind of tricky. I mean, we're lined up here. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to do this one. We'll be perfectly aligned, and then we can just wait another orbit and make sure that we're at the right size. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Got plenty of delta V. This will actually be a very, very, very gentle maneuver anyway. 3-second burn. Going to have lots of juice left. Wow, making that 90-degree turn is something else. Hold on. Yes, we are going to go the right way. Right, because here we're going down. Let us go ahead and turn to our maneuver node. Whoops. Come on. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Gotcha. Okay. Accelerate a little bit. And it'll be a 3-second full burn. If we have to keep making a few of these, that's okay. And I'm sure there's somewhere else on this axis I could be doing it, but it seems like if I just do it at these crossing points, I can't actively F anything up. And I also think I'm using the least possible amount of fuel by doing it here. You might be able to do it faster. 2, 1, 0, stop. So those are my stage destroyed messages from earlier in recovery. We are very, 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 very damn close to what we want. What we need to do now is basically just warp to Apo. So I'm going to use that button that sometimes I will curse. So we're going to loop one more time around. And then burn prograde. The Apo is not exactly where it needs to be. It depends on, you know, exactly what our margin for error is here. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why were you still warping? That's too long. What the? Well, it's okay, because our Apo... Actually, our Apo is slightly too long, so we really didn't want it. That's pretty goddamn close. I think... what I'm going to do is warp to there before the maneuver spot. And we're going to burn retro slightly. Which is the way we're facing. Just a wee bit. We're going to bring this down to 178. There we go. Ah! And we completed it! Bam! 82,000 Kerbal bucks. An extra science as well. Okay. We had 500 Delta V left. You know what? I'm really not sad that I brought this size of tank. And yeah, we can send more science from the moon whenever we get a quest that asks us to do that. I don't think we've gotten one yet. Maybe we did, actually. Maybe when we actually did our moon pass. No, we had to do a moon flyby. We don't have a quest to send science from the moon. But now that we've got a satellite there, we can do it. Okay. I guess, yeah, I can't go to Space Center from there, but I can from here. Now, I'm wondering... Now, I could have transmitted 8 science, but I'm worried that if I do that, I won't be able to get the full 16. So, we're going to wait until we send a person's ship over there. Let's take a look at our missions. Oh! Equatorial orbit around the moon. Rescue some people. Test a thing. Oh, well, this is really easy. Hang on. At the launch site? Let's take that. We're now... oh, we're not even full. This rendezvous 2 vessels... oh, it expires in 38 minutes. You know what? I'm going to take it. Even though it's super hard. It's something I want to do. It's one of those quests that I feel very important that we need to succeed in that. Okay, what am I testing? Hydraulic detachment is in flight. I really need to just stick that on something and fire it when I'm in flight somewhere. Temperature of Kerbin, which we may or may not keep. Satellite. The twin-bore liquid fuel engine. So, that's very easy. We, let me make sure that's all saved. Hit new. We grab, say, a Steputnik. It really doesn't matter what we use at all. And the twin bore. Can I not attach it to the bottom of that? Just for the sake of having something bigger to click onto. There we go. I'm pretty sure it can. It was just being difficult. So now I should just be able to hit launch, hit space. This doesn't come with any fuel, does it? Oh, it does! Oh, that's interesting. It's an all-in-one. Okay, well, I don't actually want to launch, so we're going to empty it. I suppose I could turn things off as well. We empty it, and then go to launch, and then hit space, and that'll count as good enough. Basically, we're just making sure all the electronics work, all the valves open. We don't actually want to go into space with this thing. That's not that kind of test. There we go. Recover vessel. Spent no money, got a bunch of money, and a little bit of bonus science as a reward for our troubles. There you go. Quite a bit of it, actually. Quite a bit of money. Not tons of science, but I will very happily take it. And we're going to take this quest here. Gives us 30,000 buck advance. Only 1 science, but quite a bit of money. This is going to be so much easier. Equatorial orbit of the moon. It's a bigger orbit. Won't hit the other one. Literally 0 inclination. That's interesting. And, yeah. Except contract. It's going to be just like the last one, but easier. We probably could go with a lot less fuel, but I'll probably keep using the same design. Oh, what do we need in there? That's important. Antenna, generate power. Equatorial. Maintain stability. You just need it to be there. You don't need it to do anything. You just need it to look cool. Alright. Tell you what, why don't we do that one right away? Since our current design will work fine. Not that one. Because the other one that we need to... yeah, invalid ship now. The other one that we need to put a satellite up for actually has to have a materials lab. So, and that has to be around Kerbal. This is around the moon with no particular part requirements. Oh. What's the thing I need to test? 10 minutes here. It's one of these, isn't it? The hydraulic detachment manifold. Let's stick it there. Yeah. I don't know. It's fine. It'll leave a little bit of debris on the thing. It'll offset my weight a little bit in a weird way, although it's counteracting the current thing. No. See, it doesn't matter. The fins... There's actually more weight on this side, even though it always tips towards the right, so I don't quite get that. I don't need to save this design. And this... Where is it? There it is. Let me make a different stage for that. There, and put it... I'm going to put it at topmost stage, but I will manually fire that off at the right time. I guess it doesn't make sense to have it above there. So anyway, that's fine. Because I can just fire this thing without actually activating the stage. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I've done it yet. I have to double check exactly where it needs to be tested. It needs to be in flight. All right, that's on full throttle. Test. We have to be 5K. Speeds of 300 meters per second or 400 meters per second at 5K altitude. That's actually quite a bit faster than I normally do it. Let's hope we can get there. That's a big ask. Yeah. So 5,000, we have to be going at over 400 meters per second. Usually I throttle down, so we'll get some more air resistance, but I think it'll be fine. We actually need a lot less delta V once we reach space. Okay, yes, we're going to be fine. Closing in. Okay, we got to hit 400 before we get to 700 meters. I'm just looking at... Oh, no. We might have been able to do it. It was so close. I didn't hit it on time. So we've got some extra crap with us. That's a little annoying. I'm going to be honest. Tell you what, I won't slow down here. Well, okay, I'm not going to slow down now. Go to... Whoa. Hello. Could you... There's something off with this ship. I should actually rebuild my satellite launcher. Because it is very awkward to fly for some reason. There we go. I'm going to try not to overkill my apoapsis this time. When I get to 75, I'll cut it out. We'll lose a little bit of height from the fact that we're still in the atmosphere. So yeah, if I go, I could fire it now. Get out of the way. All right, kill that. Keep the SAS on. Ah, mad. Whole other part that just got spent for nothing. And we're not going to see anything out of it. I was really hoping to finish that test. So we might have to do, I don't know what. We need a craft that, like, launches with, like, ridiculous speed. I suppose when we lift the material bay for the next satellite, we could go and just, like, strap a couple extra boosters on or I don't know what to make it hit the speed a little bit faster. I wonder, I should be able to hit 400 meters per second with like a supersonic-y kind of plane. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's dicey. Okay. And any second now, I'm going to start my burn to try to get a nice circular orbit around Kerbal. Wait, I think I'll wait until about 10 seconds. Well... Yeah, no, this is going to be fine. And then, of course, we'll have to detach the stage at some point. Okay. The time to apoapsis is going up, which is not what I want. I'm going to time it so that the time to apoapsis is going down or staying very close to the same. Because right now, that if the time to apoapsis goes up, it means too much of my burn is going towards that as opposed to the periapsis. Okay, we'll wait below 10 seconds. Maybe wait a little bit longer. Because if you do it like exactly at the proper time, the time to apoapsis will basically stay where it was. I mean, I can do it at exactly 0, but then I'll end up overshooting it. Oh, well, that's a little less than efficient. There we go. So, time's still going up. All right, fair enough. Whoa. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Maybe even if I thrust after it. I guess we'll do that. We'll let it go by the 0 mark. I guess it would. I guess I'm being a little silly. Still, we're not really wasting much in the way of fuel here. Because we haven't given much height to the apoapsis. We're aiming at what, for 75,000? We've added only 3K. That's nothing. Nothing. And hopefully we'll do a better job of shooting at the moon this time. There you go. On the flip side, no, it still basically does that. Whoa, that is always so weird and disturbing when that does that. I always have to like stop and like, hold on, what's going on? Okay, there we go. Now we are normalized here. Where is the moon? The moon is over there. We actually should be able to see the moon rise any moment now. Nope, we were good. Prograde. Prograde is what we want. And let's look at our front. There's the moon. Fire. Check the map. We will intersect the moon at some point. Just wait for the blue line to get to the gray line, and then kill the gas. I'm getting good at this, you guys. And one day I'll be a real Kerbal. And, well, okay. So at this point, I really like to focus on the moon and be able to see what's going on. So we are approaching from the other side. So again, just as a test, give it a little bit more juice, a little bit more, just a little burn to approach it from the other side. We're a bit low. Well, that's okay. We'll just have to figure that out. Yeah, that's way too low. There we go. 55,000. That's going to be good. Estimated burn, nothing. Really? We need 8.9 meters per second. These corrective burns astounds me how minimal it is. So, let's just go ahead and warp up. Just like last time. Except last time I hit ZX and I actually overshot it. Now I'm just going to like hit Shift and then X very, very soon after that. This 8.9 meters of delta V is not much. So we got to face prograde. And I could even do it now. It doesn't really matter much. And cut. Okay. Clear out the node. So we're going to come in at 60,000 meters. Very good. Again, a little bit low for our ultimate orbital goal. Hang on. Frack. We're actually supposed to be orbiting it the other way. I did not realize that. So we want to, we actually need to retrograde and come at the moon from the other side. There we go. All right, we'll do it that way. We'll come in a little bit high, but then we'll retro when we get close. Okay, let's warp to here. It's gonna be really cool to have the satellites orbiting in 2 different directions here. We have plenty of burn left. We're not gonna have to rotate our orbit, so it's gonna make things really easy. Wow, I almost put myself in orbit the wrong way around. That would have been embarrassing. Haha. Okay. We're slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Good. We are 18 minutes to the periapsis. We are currently facing retrograde, which will still have to be adjusted as we move forward. So we're just going to burn to come into an actual orbit, as opposed to slingshotting around the moon, which is what we're currently doing. 4, 3, 2... So the time warp takes a while to slow down, so you don't want to wait until the last second to actually do it. Alright, there we go. So, face properly retro. Oh, I'm just going to start firing now. Our Apo is a little high anyway, or our parry. And... okay. We do actually have to modify our inclination a bit. I can fire retro a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty close. Add maneuver. There we go. I'm going to do this. Get completely aligned first. I hit the wrong button. I meant the time jump. What the fuck did I just do? Cancel. I meant to advance time, not mess everything up. I think the node's right around there. Let's try that again. Other way. A little less. Okay, that seems to be on the right plane. Advance time. Not burn in a stupid arbitrary direction. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 5 times. Actually, slow down so that I can actually rotate towards the maneuver. Like that. Okay, a little bit of a time boost. 40, 30, 20, 10. And it's going to be a very, very short burn. Actually, I'll start a little sooner, but a much more reduced burn. Okay, just watching the delta V come down. And stop. Pretty good. Now, messed up some of my little orbits here. We're going to warp to the parry and then retrograde. Oh, you know what? I did not realize that. When you do the warp to, it doesn't give you the 3-minute warning. It does if you do it through there. What am I looking for? Retro. Retro right over here. So we've got to bring down our Apo. Just a scooch. I was going to... Stop, stop, stop! Whoa, it lagged. It lagged on me. There we go. See, I do this. ZX, ZX. And it didn't X. Okay. Let's accelerate to our Apo. I'm going to do it by hand here. 50. 45. Let's go next level. 25. 24. And we're going to prograde and increase our parry. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. We're facing retro right now. Face pro. Give it just a scooch of burn. There we go. Nice and gentle. Okay. Inclination is good. Just our Apo is still a bit high. Some of those burns are still stinging. Oh! Oh no, we just had to keep our stability for 10 seconds. There, that was close enough. Excellent. Finished another quest successfully. 80 grand plus a free science. Yes, some of those stages don't come back. Some of them do. Overall, we are turning a profit, though. And we have another lovely, lovely, lovely satellite. This one with a few extra bars that don't need to be there. That's from our hydraulic thing, orbiting the moon. Awesome! Alright, I realize, you know, it's some of the stuff we've already done before, guys, but it's very, very satisfying to do. I really want to land, but I'm thinking about doing the Gemini-like mission. Perform visual survey. Just EVA reports in places. On the surface at Daunton's trial. Oh! EVA on the surface. EVA on the surface. In-flight below. Oh, we can do that with just a plane. Let's grab that. We can do a lot of these things with planes now. You know what? Well, this one wanted an orbit. It's kind of annoying, actually. Orbit and then land somewhere? Pfft. Oh, you just want an orbit. Oh, well, that's interesting. Well, we'll consider that for next time. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the Kerbal Space Program. We have a lot of money. The question is there anything we want to upgrade at this point? We don't need more Kerbals. We could have more strategies, which could give us more free science, but that's okay. Do we technically have enough money? Ooh. To get surface samples. Also increase our science limit, which is going to be kind of irrelevant because we're running out of things on this level. After the moon landing, there's a good chance we're going to want the next level. And honestly, if we can unlock surface samples right now, we can get some extra science that way. That's probably where we spend our money. I think the vessel weight is okay. I guess what we'll do is before we spend the money on this, what we'll have to want to make sure is that whatever we build for our, say, our lunar lander, assuming we're going to do that next, we don't actually have a quest for it yet. I'm kind of waiting for a contract for it because certainly there must be a contract for it at some point. Oh, that's not the button I wanted. Certainly there must be a contract for it at some point. And, you know, we could just get double the bang for our buck. Oh, this rendezvous. This is going to be so hard. This is going to be... Well, honestly, I'm a little concerned about landing and taking off. Well, landing on the moon is going to be tricky, or on Minmus. And then taking off is going to be easy, unless, you know, we don't have enough fuel to get home. But the docking, that's going to be insanely hard. We must have the docking tech. I guess I can check if I go here. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Stay tuned, certainly, for next time. Must be a utility thing. I do have the search. Oh, I don't think it searches everything. What does that do? Saves it? Cool. That's a mod. Do I actually have docking stuff? It's not fuel, it's not engines, not command and control. Structural? It's not any of those things. It wouldn't be aerodynamics. Feels like utility would make some amount of sense. Oh, that's an interesting looking battery pack. It's not science. I don't think I've got it. I mean, I may have missed it in lists. God knows I'm half blind most of the time. I'm bad at seeing things in lists. It's not going to be a propulsion system. It's not going to be aerodynamics. I mean, it's got the circular intake, but that's it. It's not going to be miniaturization. Oh, no, it does, actually. It has a docking port here. It's a small one. Where's the regular one? Advanced exploration? I must have unlocked it already. I'm just not seeing it. It's not unmanned tech. That wouldn't make sense. I must already have it. I'll find it somewhere. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I might do a Kerbal satellite launch because there's really nothing to talk about for that one. We've done 2 videos of it now, so I might just do the next satellite launch and you know, get some more money and see what quest it unlocks. See you next time, folks. Bye bye.